Benvenuto a un pianto che commuove, ad un cielo che promette.
Hello Fred, hello Clara, hello Coty, hello Faye. Hi Albert. PMTV is on holiday in Santa Margherita, and I'd just like to give you a flavour of this lovely little seaside town in Liguria. I'm cycling along through the port area, and what I'd really like to do is show you a couple of things which make my time here just so lovely. I was talking to Nonna.
But hang on a minute, before we do that, we need to talk about the Madwomen of Morzine. How did they get to be mad? Did they get cured? How were they cured? Those are the questions that I've answered in a short film, which I'll show to you now.
We left the Madwomen of Morzine in the church rioting as the local bishop tried to exorcise them from the devil. The church, after 3 years of trying to get these women to stop being possessed by the devil by a series of exorcisms, had one last weapon in their armour, and that was what they called a mission. And the mission is where the entire parish walks together, led by the priests, up to a point outside the town. And in the summer 1864, the three priests led the 2,000 parishioners up the Vallée de la Manche from Morzine alongside the Drance to here in La Mouillette. And they erected this cross here. Unsurprisingly, this didn't work. It was going to take someone from outside the church and outside of Morzine to solve the problem. Luckily, a local expert was on hand to tell me how that happened. And I'm going to Régnier because I found out this afternoon that a chap who knows a lot about this phenomenon and has just written a book about it is going to be giving a lecture this evening. 10 minutes to go before it starts.
Donc il y a eu des faits étranges et surnaturels, et les prêtres ont pensé assez rapidement que c'était des femmes qui étaient possédées du diable. C'était un village coupé du monde pendant l'hiver pratiquement, parce qu'il y avait plus de neige qu'il y en a à l'époque. La route pour aller à Tenon, c'était pas du tout celle qu'il y a maintenant. La route pour aller à Talinges, c'était pas du tout la même non plus. C'était des petits sentiers. Puis au lieu de descendre le long de la Drance comme la route est là actuellement, chaque fois ils remontaient dans un village, ils redescendaient, ils remontaient, ils redescendaient. Il fallait une journée à cheval pour descendre à Tenon. Et pareil pour en remonter. Elles espéraient beaucoup de la religion, et d'un autre côté, la religion... Et en même temps, il y a cette ambivalence, elle repoussait la religion. Quelque part, elle devait se dire que les médecins pouvaient les aider, mais soit c'était la défiance pure, soit ils étaient tellement endoctrinés dans leur phénomène sectaire qu'elles n'avaient pas le courage d'aller chercher cette aide. Parce que aller chercher cette aide, ça voulait dire ouvertement je m'oppose à la communauté.
So I'm back in the car on my way home after the talk, and the first thing is that I've got the answer to the question: what caused it? What exactly happened?
There's only one explanation which fits the facts. The young women of Morzine rebelled against the church. Specifically, they rebelled against the three priests who were in charge of the church in Morzine in the 1860s. Why did they do that? Well, their lives were completely controlled by these three priests, by the church. They used their power to ensure that the young women lived lives that were completely and utterly tedious. They were not allowed to have any fun, they were not allowed to sing, to dance, to have boyfriends. So just to give you an example, I was speaking to a lady in Morzine a few weeks ago, and she was telling me about her grandmother who lived in Morzine perhaps 100 years ago. And she was in a situation where she was about to be confirmed, but walking through the town, she happened to look into a bar where people were drinking and having fun. The next day the priest came to her and said that he'd heard that she'd looked into a bar, and that as far as he was concerned that meant that she was not a fit person to be confirmed in the church, and that she was therefore disgraced. That's a really good image if you want to understand what it felt like to be a young woman in Morzine at that time. So what did the girls do? The girls eventually, they just couldn't take it anymore. They let go, they went mad. And what they found was that the more fuss they made, the more mad they became, the more people came from outside Morzine, the more attention they got from people who were not the priests, who were not the church. So one chap in particular, Dr. Constance, was sent to Morzine by the emperor at the time, the French emperor. So what he did was, he brought in people from the outside, he brought in soldiers who he billeted in Morzine, and he organised the opening of a library for people to become educated. He organised Sunday evening debates in the town hall where people discussed various issues about their lives, about the world in general, about the newspapers. He organised a band, he created a band, he taught people to play music, he got musicians in. It worked. The priests were removed to another part of France. Over a period of 6 months, the atmosphere in Morzine changed. No more were the women of Morzine mad. So that is the story of the Madwomen of Morzine. I certainly found it interesting to find out, to carry out my little discovery, to talk to people. If you want to hear more stories about the history of Morzine, let me know.
I'm going to go to the Cafe del Porto.
A te che perdi la strada di casa, ma vai dove ti portano i piedi e lo sai che sei libero.
Un caffè?
Le tue scarpe fragili.
Un caffè, sì.
A chi ha parole cattive soltanto perché non ha saputo chiarire con sé, a chi supplica e poi se ne dimentica.
Underneath the covered arches, down there, you'll see there's some very nice mosaic work on the floor. I think what we should do is have a little competition to see if you can name each of the images as we go. You tell me what you think they are.